Here's another one for you. This is from my Blue Peter collection. For people that aren't old like me, this is where they built one earlier. I had this car about 13-14 years. It's been painted for 13-14 years. It's a Ford Popular 100E, and it's on a 59 plate. That's why it's got a 3-3 registration with no prefix. But it's not really a 100E anymore. Shouldn't have arches like that. These are steel Mexico arches that are grafted in. There's no fiberglass in it. Paint's gunmetal grey, technical grey, Vauxhall colour. I can say it was painted about 15 years ago, 14-15 years ago, and I've just pulled it out from hibernation. I'm going to run this weekend because there's a Mrs. Rock box, and the way that I do all this, you think, how have you got a wife and do all this? Well, you've got to let them do what they need to do. And my missus just so happens to love going out getting pissed. So she's going out getting pissed with her girl mates this weekend. I've got my young lad who's 11. So I've pulled this out because me and him are going to go for a cruise together. Maybe do a bit of drifting. You never know, because this drifts like a good one. So, yeah, I've just pulled out from hibernation. Give it a quick wash. Nothing special. Well, this is how the paint sits after 15 years. I've got a small crust there. Teensy one there. It's held up pretty good for 15 years. I've had this on track. I've had this round out in winter. I've done all kinds of stuff with it. And the paint's still standing up a decade and a half later. We always give it a tidy up soon. But yeah, it's going back to what it is. It's a Ford 100E wide arch, but it's not a Ford 100E anymore. The way this car was built, I bought it as an unfinished project and finished it off years ago. I love buying unfinished projects, and so someone might recognise initially doing this. But what it is it's a Ford 100E with the floor cut out, and so you know it's called dropping a shell on a chassis or silhouetting. But like quite a few people do it. You'll see these on MX-5s, and a lot of people copied it after, or you know it planted the seed in the brain. But it's Sierra. The floor was cut out of the shell, and the shell's the right dimensions it should be. It's just got a wider track on the axles. The reason for that is it's actually a Sierra floor pan from a Sierra 4x4. Remember them? Like the XR4i, but the 4-wheel drive one. So what you're looking at there is the shell being liberated from the floor. When they picked it up in the scrapyard, the floor fell out of it. So that's how they had the idea to do this. But when they made these pops in the 50s, if you listen to it, it's really thick. The metal's virgin steel that was mined from Russia, and it's super thick, and it's not recycled washing machines and stuff like that, like all the shit you get now. So the metal's great. The floor had just gone because of bad storage, so it's really strong shell. So what they done is Sierra floor. You've got a Sierra, cut the body off the Sierra just down to a floor pan. Then they cut the floor pan in half, right in the middle, like front to back. So they cut it in half, and they lost 12 inches out of the, so shortened it by 12 inches, welded it back together, the floor pan. Then they trimmed the floor pan and welded the floor pan into this shell, and now it's one monocoque all welded together. It's solid. Before anyone says it's dangerous, anything like that, it's been ragged round the track. It's done all kinds of stuff in 15 years. It ain't even cracked the paint because it's not flexing. I've got rally escorts that crack the paint on a regular basis because the shells flex so much. This shell does not flex. So again, if people are telling you about cutting shorts and all the rest of it, unless they've done one, they really need to probably just shut up. But that's how people are. They love to put a dampener on things for you. But yeah, so they put this shortened 4x4 floor pan in it, and then it uses all Sierra running gear. So it's got Sierra diff, Sierra back suspension, everything on it's Cosworth on this as well. So Cosworth brakes, standard, Cosworth standard brakes, Cosworth standard LSD, and then engine wise, it's got a V6 Colonge in it, a 2.8 one, like you had in a Granada, stuff like that. Good engine. It's been in it for 15 years. I've had to set the valve clearances a couple of times. I have to do that rocker clearances, and it's had a new dizzy in 15 years because the bearing wore out in it, and that's it. That's all it's want. That engine just, it's a wall of torque in a light car like this. So you just breathe on it and this thing's going sideways and wheel spinning. Not the fastest car in the world compared to some of these turbo things and all that, but it's good, and that's why I've never put another engine in it. I've got other engines I could put in this, but that I'm just going to leave that in it until the day that it won't run anymore. And then I've got a 2.9 Colonge, which is the later 24 valve one that's upstairs, and I've twin turboed that one, so that's sat on the bench waiting for a rainy day for this to throw a rod or whatever, and I'll drop that in this anyway, and then it'll be a complete beast. But it's not bad how it is. But yeah, me and my son are going to go cruising this weekend, start to bring my car collection out a little bit one by one now, start to run them, because we've been having nice blue skies and the weather's quite nice, and that's what we'll do. Yeah, Ford 100e.